talking about Joey Porter Jr., he remains unsigned. It is Monday morning as we're recording this. Still no contract. There are 9 rookies who have yet to sign a rookie deal. Believe only 3 of them ahead of Joey Porter Jr. who are yet to sign. We are 2 days from players reporting to training camp. I think the last time we talked about this, it was a no big deal situation. Have those thoughts changed for you now that we're coming down to the final hours?
I mean, yeah, a little bit. Like we were talking before we started recording, but rookie holdouts like used to be a thing. Not as much anymore, but Joey Porter's in this weird kind of limbo just because he was the 32nd pick,
Yep.
technically in the second round. That just makes, what he could demand but the technicality of where he was drafted changes what kind of guaranteed money he could get. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins for swinging and missing on Tom Brady and making this all complicated for everyone. But yeah, it's a little bit concerning. Because I also this is a guy who is a candidate to start. He's probably one of your top candidates to start at cornerback. That's just not, especially for a rookie, that's just not something you want to have hanging over your head as you get down to the wire and begin to think about training camp.
Yeah, I agree. I think that at this point it's becoming do I expect a holdout? Maybe not. But I'm much less confident right now than I was a week ago or 2 weeks ago when we were talking about this, just because, and I said at the time, I think it could come right down to the wire and we still shouldn't expect a holdout. And I think that could be true, but we are 48 hours away. Alex Highsmith got a deal. The Steelers have made moves. They've been in the office. They've been working. Things have been on the move. There's really at this point zero reason for Joey Porter Jr. not to be signed. You look at the situation and it's got to be a disagreement on the number of guaranteed money. And that seems much more concerning right now than it did at the time, because at the time it was like, yeah, whatever, they'll find some middle ground. It is what it is. Now you're getting to a point where you're like, okay, why is the deal not done? What is Joey Porter's number? What is he looking for? How stuck on that number is he? And how much are the Steelers saying, dude, you haven't played a snap of football, we're not budging? Where are these two sides when it comes to all that? Do I think a deal gets done? I mean, yes. Do I think a holdout's on the way? I think those chances are very slim, but I think that right now it's, the alarms, they're getting ready. It's getting ready to flick on that alarm. And if Wednesday turns around and, we pull into Latrobe into that parking lot and there is still no deal done, I think that's when it's like, okay, maybe this is a concern. And I mean, at that point, what do you expect? How much do the expectations of Joey Porter Jr. change if a holdout does happen?
Yeah, and I think the thing I'm stuck on is how big a difference could it be?
Yes.
Between what Joey's asking for and what the team wants him to sign for, that this is a problem. No side is willing. I have to imagine it's a difference of, a few $1,000,000. It cannot be enough to,
yeah,
in my mind, to move the needle that much to make this a worthwhile thing to fight over well into July and take this right down to the wire in training camp and just kind of risk this hanging over everyone's head. That seems a little silly to me for a guy that you have a lot of confidence in, that I get it. Technically it wasn't the first round, but it was de facto a first round pick.
Yeah.
That's what everyone was treating it as during draft season. So it just seems a little weird to me why you would, if you're the Steelers, get so stuck on what I have to imagine is a drop in the bucket, compared to everything that you're going to spend over the next couple of years.
Yes, exactly. I agree 100%. I also understand that the Steelers are in a tough salary cap situation over the next couple of years. So, I get that as well. But I think that, just like you said, if it's a couple of $1,000,000, I think we should find some middle ground. And maybe Omar Khan gives in a little bit and just says, we were lucky enough to have the opportunity to draft Joey Porter Jr., which sounds weird. It sounds weird to say oh, we were lucky enough to draft you. It's no, you were lucky enough to get drafted, but Joey Porter Jr. should have been gone before the Steelers' 32nd pick. And they shouldn't have had the 32nd pick. They should have had the 33rd pick. And then you're even more worried about what the whoever had the 32nd pick, it would have been the Dolphins, but whoever bounced back, you know what I mean? It just creates so much more, well, what if, that I agree with you. If it's a couple $1,000,000, you just give in and say, look, let's just clean slate. Let's head to training camp. Let's get this thing going. You don't want the fans upset with you. We don't want the fans upset with you. We want you to compete for a starting job. You want to compete for a starting job. Let's make this happen. And I think that that's where they need to be. Again, we're recording this. It's 9:30 in the morning on Monday. Maybe by Tuesday afternoon, things are fine. But every minute that passes, every hour that passes, I'm getting a little bit more nervous that the Steelers are in a tough spot when it comes to Joey Porter Jr. And I guess we'll see what happens. But that first day when everybody arrives, I'm sure he's going to be a hot topic of conversation, and I'm sure he'll be a name that everybody's looking to talk to. And I'm very interested about those answers. And that's the other thing. I don't want him to be in that situation. Like, I don't want to, as my job, have to go up and be like, why haven't you signed yet? I want it to be a positive conversation of, how excited are you about this? Like, do you think you have that opportunity? Is this, your first training camp? You've been here as a child. Like, how much different is it? How excited? You know what I mean? Like, let me talk about your dad for the 700th time before I have to talk about why you haven't signed a contract. That's what I'm looking for. So we'll see. But as the hours count down, like I said, it's the biggest story to monitor for the Pittsburgh Steelers, hands down, until that gets done, without question.